Y'all remember this time last year when the Trump administration brought over that group of white South Africans claiming they were facing racial persecution and injustice in their home country? I have an update. Out that the majority of them are struggling here in the United States. They are only given $2,000 a month, which typically their rent eats up, so they have no more funds for food, transportation, anything extra. They're living in roach infested apartments. They are living in an unsafe area. It's almost as if the United States is oppressive. Tried to tell y'all. And if anything, this just further goes to show that there are flaws within our immigration system, flaws within our asylum system. There are flaws. It's not the people, it's the system. This is what happens when our politicians are more interested in using immigration as a talking point, as a tool for election, rather than an actual issue that needs to be addressed rather immediately.
They struggling. They are struggling. So the Afrikaners, Elon Musk had Trump bring to the United States because they were being prosecuted, are stating they are having serious issues surviving in the United States. And the only person that can be blamed for this struggle is Trump himself. Trump cut a bunch of funding that Biden set up for refugee programs. And it wasn't just the money that Trump cut, it's also the staff that he cut at refugee offices and other federal offices because of the Doge department. Elon Musk did this to his own peoples. So these refugees are saying they're only making $2,000 a month, which is barely enough to handle their rent. They're saying the houses they're in are roach infested. They're saying there's a lack of access to refugee support, again, because of Doge cutting all of that support. And they feel very isolated from these programs, and the language barrier is bothering them. So I'm not sure what more can be said about this struggle and why cutting refugee programs and the people physically working in those refugee programs was a bad idea, because even the people he is trying to help, the better immigrants, as they would say in the Trump administration, are now struggling to be here. Y'all have a good day.
If you're wondering what happened to the Afrikaners who were rescued from South African white genocide from South Africa by Donald Trump and taken to America, well, I will tell you. They've come out and said that there's been a failure of policy because they basically are barely scraping by. That is their description, that they're barely scraping by. So they were rescued from South Africa thinking, and most of them obviously never been to America, and thinking that they were going to turn up to a place that is paved in gold, only to find out that America has literally got millions of people who live in the streets. And many people in America, at least 10 million people, actually live in their cars. And these Afrikaners claimed asylum in the United States of America, and now they're saying that there's been a total failure of the rescue because they're not getting by. They're barely scraping by.
Hello, my wonderful people. How are you? I trust you're okay. You're welcome back to the channel. My name is Jane. Guys, if you guys have not seen what is happening, we have news. The South Africans, the so-called Afrikaners who came into the United States, are now crying that they cannot survive in America. Guys, these are the same white South Africans, the so-called Afrikaners, to be precise, that President Trump personally fast-tracked and invited to the United States. He said, come on over. You all are persecuted, okay? And they showed up thinking that America was going to be one big bed of roses, private pools, endless steaks on the grill, and zero problems. Fast forward a few months later, and what are they doing? They are crying on national news, y'all. Actual cries. They are saying, we need help. We cannot survive here. Survive on $2,000 every month, every single month? Oh my goodness, $2,000 a month. Black Americans are in these comments dragging them left, right, and center. And can we blame them? For generations, Black Americans have been told by these same people's cousins, the white folks in America who love to co sign their South African relatives. They have been telling Black people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Stop complaining. America is a land of opportunity, no handouts. You see? But now it is the turn of these South Africans and they are finding out hard. Now the script has flipped. Boo! Now it is their turn to learn the hard way that America is not a bed of roses when you don't come with built-in advantages. These Afrikaners are out here acting like $2,000 a month is poverty wages. Meanwhile, that same check could feed, house, and clothe four black families who are out here making miracles on way less every single day. The extravagance, the entitlement, they went from living large off systems their ancestors built on stolen land and black labor back in South Africa to crying because the apartment has a few bugs and the grocery store is a whole Uber ride away. Baby, black folks have been surviving on less than half while dodging redlining, wage gaps, mass incarceration, and every obstacle the system could throw their way. Still, they have showed up, they have built empires, they have raised generations, and they have kept it cute. So when Black Twitter and Black TikTok say, this is not our problem, they are very right. You all wanted the bootstrap challenge, right? Welcome to the arena. Pull yourself by the bootstrap, baby. Pull him up real tight, bestie. No special treatment, no extra sympathy. You asked for the real America. Now feel every bit of it. Guys, the comment in this particular news is really funny, but I'm going to allow you to watch the responses from some Black Americans and then we're going to come back and talk some more.
Okay, I got a good one. Can we talk about the Afrikaners that Trump brought here at the beginning of last year? They've been here for 7 months now. We have 3 of those families planted right here in Detroit. Do you know Trump still got them living in the hotel in the hood with mold growing all in the rooms? They get an allowance of $2,000, yet they're paying rent at the hotels. Now, y'all know it's cold as shit here in Detroit. I mean, it's cold. Cold. I ain't been outside in 3 days. These motherfuckers come from a tropical weather system where it's sunny and warm all the time. This snow shit, they not used to this shit. How about they got them wearing summer clothes? Trump brought them here on a promise that I will bring you here and give you all the benefits to get you started on your American dream. They're still waiting.
You may recall last year we reported on the Trump administration's decision to limit the number of refugees entering the United States. That number was set at 7,500, a significant cut from the Biden era. In addition, the administration is prioritizing white South Africans for admission, a group it says faces persecution at home, something the South African government disputes. Well, now an investigation from the Free Press shows many of those white South Africans, also known as Afrikaners, are barely scraping by because of what they say are failures in U.S. government systems. Madeline Rowley is an investigative reporter for the Free Press, and she joins us now from Virginia to talk about this. And we should note the Free Press and CBS News share a parent company in Paramount Skydance. Madeline, good morning. Talk to us about the conditions some of these refugees say they are experiencing, because the administration made it seem as if they were being prioritized. They are a special group.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on. Yes, I spoke to 10 South African refugees who told me that, they came to the U.S. hoping for a better life, a better situation, just as other refugees. And the government contracts with 7 refugee resettlement agencies that are paid hundreds of millions of dollars per year to provide safe, sanitary, and affordable housing. And unfortunately, what I heard from these Afrikaner refugees is that they're spending weeks in motels in unsafe areas. They're being offered housing that is full of mold, apartments that are full of mold in expensive areas. So each refugee is allotted $2,000, and all of that has been going to rent. So they're really left with nothing. And these agencies are supposed to help them apply to jobs, obtain temporary benefits such as SNAP and Medicaid, and basically other people from the community, like neighbors, are having to step in because they just, in some cases, can't even get a hold of their resettlement agencies.
And Madeline, what jumps out to me about what you're saying is we have this almost split screen between what you're describing their life is like now and how they looked in May of 2025 when they were being welcomed here. They were holding American flags. They had smiles on their faces. When you asked refugee groups about these issues with the resettlement process, what are they telling you? How common is this?
Well, from what I could tell, I mean, there is an entire network of people as they come. I mean, people I spoke to came as soon as 2 weeks ago. And what they do is, they have a network through social media groups and WhatsApp, and they're all realizing, oh no, I'm stuck in this hotel. I only have a certain amount of food. They don't have transportation. They don't have the right clothing. I talked to 3 refugees who are in Detroit. It's very cold there. They do not have coats. So they're realizing that they really feel alone.
I was about to go to bed, but I couldn't wait till tomorrow to make this video because it's very good news. Well, non-good news for the people I'm talking about. But do you guys know what happened to the Afrikaners that claimed there was white genocide in South Africa and hightailed it to America under this administration with the hope that they'd have a better life here, claiming that there's white genocide in South Africa and South Africa's trying to eradicate the white race? All these lies that they told to get here. Listen, it's one thing to come here with dignity. I have no problem people moving here with dignity, but when you're gonna lie about your country and stir up hate and go along with this terrible thing people are saying about South Africa just because you don't like it there, because your white privilege ended with apartheid and you still had privileges but you took it for granted. Do you know what happened to those people? They are living in motels right now with cockroaches, mosquitoes, and mold, and they're complaining because all they got was $2,000 when they started. They were promised that someone would help them find a job, find housing. Nothing's happening. One guy, the best one I heard, oh my gosh, I was dying when I heard this, is they interviewed an Afrikaner, and I need to look this up to see if it's true, but this is the story, is they interviewed an Afrikaner, and he said he had to wash the car of an African-American man here. So I hope that's true. Oh my gosh, I hope that's true. That would be so delicious. You know why I'm celebrating this karma is because there's people out there that are actually suffering, that are fleeing their countries to just make a life for their families and provide and make sure their kids have a future. And they have to wait forever. And sometimes it goes 10 years before that happens, which is why they end up here undocumented. Not that they're doing anything wrong and killing people and stuff. They're just undocumented because the system failed them. And it's just too much of money and resources. Anyways, these people got the red carpet rolled out for them based on a lie. And now look what's happening. God. That is real God right there, not the nationalists that they are. The real God is acting right now and saying, oh, you want to lie? Here, this is the life you're going to have. So, shame. I wish them all the luck, but I guess they can't go back to South Africa if they claim refuge from it, right? I hope not. Gosh, I hope. Oh, it'd be so nice.
I don't know any immigrants in my personal life. I don't know any immigrants in my personal life that don't have a job. I don't. Every immigrant I know, we have about the same color skin or darker, and they all have a job and they all get taxed and they all pay the IRS because, they buy into the system. Every immigrant I know, do they have 100% control of the English language? No, they don't. They have an accent and it's thick sometimes. And yet somehow they manage to hold down a job. So I don't know any immigrants who get free money. I don't know any immigrants who get whatever free amount of money or housing. I don't know any of them. Every immigrant I know has a job, dude. has a effing job. And they work. They work. So when I hear certain people say, oh, all these immigrants are just getting free money and free housing and free this, I don't know who you're talking about. I've never met one. Where are they? Because I want to get some free money. I want to get free money. I have a job too. I also want to get free money and free housing. Where are all these benefits these people are getting? Where are they? Tell them. Stop gatekeeping. Tell me, please. I want to get free money too. Huh? Huh? Everyone thinks, oh, you just come over here and everything's free. Y'all think it's free. Free. Easy. Everyone I know has a job, dude.
Guys, I'm not even mad at the shade, okay? I'm not even mad at Black Americans to reacting the way they are reacting. This whole situation is the loudest mic drop on hypocrisy that I've seen in years. Donald Trump rolled out the red carpet thinking that these South Africans, these white Afrikaners, would be the perfect props. Instead, America showed them the same mirror that Black Americans have been staring into forever. So, to every Black person watching, keep that same energy. You guys have earned the right to say, not our problem when the tables turn. And to the Afrikaner refugees shedding tears on Newsday, enjoy the bootstrap life, honey. America is a bed of roses if you ignore all the thorns that Black Americans have warned you about. So guys, how did you see this video? Did you enjoy this video? If you did, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it to get some more people. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna catch you in the next upload. Bye bye.